that's relative to time and it stands alone, has its own recognition.
Yes, a verb has meaning in and of itself, okay? And it is always related to time. And then what did we say a harf was?
Neither of those things.
Neither. Okay? A harf is everything other than that, alright? The Arabic language is full of ism, full of harf, full of fi'l. Alright, we're going to focus today's lesson a little bit more on ism and fi'l, alright? Where we left off last week is this discussion of cases, right? How words in the Arabic language have a case. Now I'll tell you, this is one of the most confusing things in Arabic. And don't try to fully grasp this right now, okay? But in the Arabic language, when we talk about fi'l and ism, okay, not harf, okay? Words have this thing called a case. They can either be, ignore all this right now, I wrote it so that I don't have to spend time writing it when we talk about pronouns. But words can be either marfu', okay, that's a fact, alright, or they can be mansub, or they can be majroor. You have all this on the board here. In the kind of academic English way, they talk about marfu' being nominative, like the subject of the sentence. Mansub being accusative. Does that confuse anyone? That word accusative, it confuses me too, right? Don't worry about these, these academic terms. But typically, the direct object, okay? And majroor is something that typically follows a preposition or a harf, all right? We case these things because when people were learning the Arabic language, especially Persians, because they're the first ones to decode the Arabic language, when they were doing this, they went through and they said, how can we classify everything? If we want to learn this language, we got to break it down and we got to classify it, okay? So they would go through and they would say, words that typically end in a dhamma, okay, are usually marfu'. They're usually, okay, the subject. Alright? Words that end in a fatha, alright, they're usually mansub, they're usually the direct object of the sentence. Okay? And words that are majroor, they usually end in kasra. Okay? Usually. Not all the time. Okay? The best way to learn Arabic is you learn a rule that will work for 70% of the time, and then you learn the exceptions. Okay? That's the best way to learn, alright? And this is usually a word followed by a preposition. Now, if you watch the lectures, you watch the lectures to watch kind of the lesson 1 lectures, lesson 2 lectures come before class. Alright, good. You know, like he gave the example, Sheikh Suhail on the lecture gave the example of, in English, if you were to say something like, John saw Zayd, okay? We might say that John is marfu'. If we try to apply this in English, it doesn't really work, okay? But we might say that John is marfu', okay? And we might do something like John on the top, okay? Like that, a dhamma, all right? And saw Zayd is a direct object. So we might say something like Zayd is mansub and Zayd'a. Okay? Okay? So John saw Zayd'a. Right? Think of it, if you try to think of it something like that in English, try to think of it like that. However, let this one go for now. Right? Casing is very difficult, and all that's meant here is just to marinate your mind. Just let this sit in your mind, marinate lesson after lesson after lesson. It's going to make more and more sense. I guarantee you, you won't understand it right now. Okay? Eventually, when you begin to parse sentences, you begin to grammatically parse sentences in the Arabic language, like a basic verse in the Quran, you'll get to a word, okay? For example, okay? If you were to say something like, Allahu Samad, okay? You might say something like Allah, okay? mubtada. It's the beginning noun. Marfu', okay? And it's in the state of marfu' because it's the subject. وَعَلَامَةُ رَفْعِهِ. And the sign that it is marfu' is that it has a dhamma at the very top. A dhamma ala akhirihi. And you begin to parse sentences like, don't try to learn that right now. I'm just giving you a bird's eye view of where this eventually goes. Don't try to learn it right now, okay? So Fuad is just introducing this right now, okay? Why? Because you're going to keep seeing this and this and this. And it's good to know where that's eventually going to fall into the whole realm of grammar, okay? The whole thing, okay? So that's kind of why, right? So that's casing. Now, what we'll notice, there's no real exercises that they put in here for cases, right? So we'll just let that one go right now. But here's a review of what we talked about last week. So let's kind of go through this chart right now, right? And make sure that we understand ism, fi'l, and harf really well. So the first one, ila, what does ila mean? Towards, okay? And it's a harf, okay? Rab, let's go back to our vocabulary. What does Rab mean? Lord, is that an ism, fi'l, or harf? Ism, very good. Al-buyut, what's al-buyut?
The house.
Not the house.
The houses.
The houses. Is that a noun? Is it fi'l, ism, or harf? Ism. Kataba, what is kataba? He wrote. What is it? Fi'l. Fi. What does it mean? In. And it's a harf. Very good. Mu'minun. Believers. What is it? Ism. Insan. What does it mean? Human. Okay? What kind of word is it? By the way, the Quran has a few words for human, right? It has bashar and it has insan as well. What's the difference between bashar and insan? They both mean human.
Bashar could be inclusive of other things too.
What is it? Bashar is inclusive of other things? What's that? Speak up.
Mortals.
Mortals, okay. Yeah, Allah says in the Quran, إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. Okay, let's look at this word bashar as well. Allah tells the Prophet to say, I am a bashar just like you are. I am a human just like you are. Okay? So you have insan, which means human. You also have this word bashar. Basharun, which also means human. Okay? But in general in the Quran, when you see the word bashar, it's in reference to human beings as physiological creatures. Breathe, eat, sleep, right? وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَكُم مِّن تُرَابٍ ثُمَّ إِذَا أَنْتُمْ بَشَرٌ تَنْتَشِرُونَ. From his signs is that he created you from dirt, and then you become bashar, spread throughout the earth. Humans spread throughout the earth. It's a very physiological conception. إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. Allah tells the Prophet to say, I am a bashar, just like you are. I am a human, just like you are. Because physiologically, the Prophet sleeps, drinks, eats, all those things. But insan in the Quran is not usually used for physical aspects of what it means to be human, right? إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Mankind is in a state of loss. Oh, that's not tangible. That's intangible, right? خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ مِنْ عَجَلٍ. Insan has been created from haste. Not really something physical, right? That's like your soul, right? Right? So,
Bashar could include the jinn too, right?
no,
No.
Bashar is not including jinn.
Okay.
So, in general, in the Quran, when you see insan, it's human, but usually about the intangible things of what makes us human. Bashar is human, but usually about the physical things that makes us human. There's some interesting discussion about, thinking about evolution in Islam when it comes to that dichotomy. Subtle things in Arabic, very subtle understandings in Arabic suddenly become quite broad in their applications, okay? All right, what's the next one? Taktubu. What is it? Oh, now that's confusing. So it has to do with writing. Very good, because you saw the root kataba, which has to do with writing. Okay. Taktubu could either mean she is writing. Okay. We're going to learn this a little bit more today when we talk about pronouns. Or it could mean you are writing. Okay. It could mean either one. Right. But what is it? Yeah. Very good. All right. Bil kitabati. That's a trick one. What do y'all think? The brothers are answering too many questions here.
With his book, the meaning?
The meaning. Okay, what does this mean?
With his book.
Not book.
With.
Kitaba is writing. With writing. With the writing. Okay? But what is it? A fi'l, a harf, an ism? Both? Wait, there's three things I have to say.
Yeah, you're right.
There's three options. You can't say both.
It's a verb. It's an
A
action.
harf and a fi'l. Oh, does anyone want to get something else? It's a harf and an ism. Which part is the harf? The B, which means with. Okay? And the kitaba, which means writing, is the ism. Okay? That's an infinitive. So that's the ism. Alright? Let's look at some of these exercises. And let's just look at the underlined words here. Alright?
Just take 5 seconds announcements. Assalamu alaikum. If any students are not, if this class is difficult for anyone who doesn't have any background, so we have alhamdulillah arranged another class that Brother Abdul Hakim Mustafa is teaching upstairs. So please join him if you are not, if you feel like this is too much for you and you need the preparation. Jazakallah khair. Right now he is in the upstairs, second floor.
To make it clear, if you don't know how to read, you can go and we have to go upstairs. If you know how to read, whatever your level, you can benefit from this class. But if you don't know how to read Quran by yourself, the brother is helping the alphabet, the reading. So just to make it easy for everyone.
Jazakallah khair. Let's look at the underlying words here. Naktubu. What is that? It's a fi'l. Means we write. Okay? Let's look at the next line. Just the underline. Fi samawati wal ard. What's included in that? So fi, what is fi? A harf. Samawat. Ism. How did you know it was an ism? Alif lam. We talked about that. It's a sign that you know something is an ism. Wal ardi. What is it? Again, it has alif and lam. Okay? The alif and lam is a little twisted. Okay? So sometimes in Arabic, look. If I write this, al ard. Alright? Does that look better now? That look better? Okay? But sometimes people will just take this and twist it so it becomes like this. It's still alif and lam. Okay? It's just kind of like you take it down here and you just kind of twist it like that. Alright? Alright, so that's al-ard. So that's an ism. Alright? Very good. Alright? Qul lillah. What is lillah? How many? How many?
Two.
There's two. What are the two? Harf li at the beginning, which means for, and Allah. They come together, there's like an idgham.
In the previous word, wal ard, wouldn't the wa be
The waw is a harf. Very good. The waw is a harf. Al-ard is the ism. Very good, very good. Kataba. We just did this one. Fi'l, he wrote. Ala. Harf, very good. And the last word there, rahma. Ab-rahma. Ism. Right. Kataba ala nafsihi rahma. Allah has written mercy upon himself. This last one here, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. What is a'udhu? Refuge. I seek refuge. So what is that? It's a fi'l. Okay. So the next few pages in your packet are just answer keys to everything we just talked about, okay? So when we do this stuff in class, you don't have to write everything down, right? You can just listen and absorb, and you'll get it. Now, let's talk about pronouns, all right? Next lesson. Any questions on ism, harf, and fi'l?
So, on the question about bil kitab. So,
Bil kitabati.
right, bil kitab. So, if a fi'l or an action which is referring as an action instead of the tense, so that becomes the ism rather than.
That's called, in English, that's called the infinitive. In Arabic, it's called the masdar. Okay? So yes, if I say, he ran, he is running, run. These are all verbs. Okay? But if I just say running as a concept, is running a verb as a concept? No. Okay? If I say he drank, okay? He is drinking, I give a command drink. Those are all verbs. But if I just say drinking as a concept, that's a noun. That's an ism. That's called the infinitive. Okay? It's called a masdar. Alright, very good. Okay. So let's talk about pronouns. Alright. Now we're getting into the meat of Arabic. Alaikum salam.
Can I add a few things?
Yes.
Jazakumullah khair, mashallah. So, just quickly, 1 minute. Inshallah. Very important that you, can you see the board? So, very confusing for some people. It's this noun sometimes mixed with something. So, for example, when I say lillahi, all of us, we know the name, the noun is Allah, Ismullah, we called Ismul Jalal, right, last week. So for us, always think about the nouns that we memorize, min ilah, I hope you still remember them, right? Min ilah an ala fi rubba kaf It's sometimes it looks confusing, but it's not confusing. It's when you connect it, like the word bil kitabati. So first thing to do, al kitabati, for example. So I look for the alif and lam. Here, sometimes you don't see it very well. So if you see al, automatically, you see al, this is a noun. Anything come before it should be one of the letters that huruf, that we call huruf. So always look for the al. For example, lillahi. Lillahi, I know that it's Allah. Normally it's li and Allah. So what's the Arab do? To not make it confusing, they take this and they make it lillahi. So I know the word Allah is there. What's before it? It's the lam. So you see the lam and you put it by itself and you come back to it. So always look for the al, sometimes hidden. Every time that you have the alif and lam, look to the pronoun, to the harf before it, and it's going to help you to understand. The same things, if you know the verb, look always for the conjugation. This is what's confusing. The conjugation of the verb. We said last week, the doctor said, that we have this letter of conjugate something. For example, if you have the word, the verb kataba or qara. Kataba, I didn't see alif and lam, but I see aktubu, or the four of them that we use them in conjugation. We have anaitu, noon, and ya, and ta. So these, remember them. As you remember the man ila an ala. These are usually the conjugation of the verb. So kataba aktubu, I'm writing. Na kataba naktubu. Ya kataba yaktubu. So always look for this. If you see it that there is no al, the easy way, you consider this maybe verb, and you look for one of these letters. Because these are the letters of conjugation in Arabic. So if you take the kataba off and you, for example, you say kharaja. Kharaja, it's to exit. Same thing. Akhruju, I saw that there is no alif and lam, so and there is hamza before it. There is no alif and lam, and there is noon, and there is no alif and lam, there is ya or ta, will be kharaja, nakhruju, put like this, yakhruju, and takhruju. So the easy first for us, remember the huruf, من إلى عن على في ربع كاف لام, and look for the L. This is all now, and this is going to help you to understand. This is the basic, yes.
Your computer's gonna restart,
Okay, very good. So at the same times, look for the letters that come combined with the verb. And this is going to help a lot. So I will see something later.
That's very helpful. Very helpful. All right. Okay, so let's talk about pronouns now. All right. So again, a big mistake learners of Arabic do is they try to reference English to kind of, put things in their proper place. All right. And especially with pronouns, you cannot do that in Arabic. Absolutely cannot do that in Arabic. Right? And here's an example why. So I wrote these pronouns, 14 ways to refer to people here, okay, up on the board, all right? In English, in the third person, okay, when we're talking about people, okay, if I want to talk about one male, I say he, right? If I want to talk about two males, or two people, one of them male, I just say they, right? So think about male dual, MD, male dual, okay? If I want to talk about three people, at least one of them male, all right? I also say they. It's the same as the dual, okay? So think about male plural, all right? Male plural. If I'm talking about a sister, okay, female, I just say she, right? But if there's two females, I just say they, just like here. If there's three females, three or more, I just say they. Nothing changed. In the third person in English, there's not that much to remember about how you refer to people, okay? Now, in the second person, we refer to second person, you're talking to someone. You're not talking about someone, right? You're talking to someone, right? That's really easy. You just say you, all right? If I'm talking to one male, okay, one single male, M male, I just say you, okay? If I'm talking to two males, I just say male dual, I just say you. Right? If I'm talking to three or more people, at least one of them male, MP, male plural, I just say you. If I'm talking to one female, F for female, I just say you. Two females, you. Three females, you. Now, if I'm talking about myself, I say I. And if I'm talking about me and a group of people, I say we. Right? Now, look at this whole thing here. Right? So this I, we is first person, second person, third person. Not that much variation, right? Some theys, some yous, some he's, some she's, right? Some I's, some we's, but there's not that much variation, okay? Almost every single one of these change in Arabic, okay? Now, I'm going to go through all of them in Arabic. We're going to get used to saying them, okay? And I'm going to give you another bird's eye view of pronouns and verbs, okay? But then we're going to come back for lesson 2, we're just going to focus on this third person here. All right, does that make sense? But again, I'm going to give you a bird's eye view of everything because it's hard to understand a concept in language when you're just learning it by itself. You don't know where it fits in the broader realm, right, of understanding. Okay? All right. So now, in Arabic, when I want to say he, what do I say? Huwa. Okay? Huwa, right? If I'm talking about two males, right? Huma. Huma, all right? If I'm talking about three people, at least one of them male, hum, all right. Very good. Now, if I'm talking about one female, I'm talking about them. What is it? Yeah, okay? Two females, both of them have to be females. Huma. Three females or more. Hunna. Hunna. All right, everyone repeat after me. Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. A little bit faster. Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Okay. This third person in Arabic, you know what it's called? Al-Ghaib. Al-Ghaib. Alright? Al-Ghaib means the absent. Who's memorized the first three verses of Surah Baqarah? Alladina yu'minuna bi al-ghayb. What does that mean? Those people who believe in the unseen. Ghayb, ghaib, right? Comes from the same root, right? These people are not seen. We're talking about them, but they're not here. Okay? The believers in Surah Baqarah says they're the ones who believe in the unseen, meaning the angels, heaven, hell. You know it's there, but you don't see them. Okay? So this is called al-ghaib. This is the third person in Arabic. Okay? Now what do you notice about these? What do you notice about these huma, hunna? Alright? It's a lot different, right? It's a lot more variable than what you have in English, all right? So, we're going to focus on that for lesson 2, all right? But now let's go here. If I'm talking about one male, now I'm talking to people. I'm no longer talking about people. I'm talking to people, all right? I'm talking to one male. What do I say? Anta. Okay? Anta, all right? I can say, Tawab. أنت أفضل الطالب في الفصل. You are the best student in the class. أنت. I'm speaking to one person. Now I'm speaking to two people. What do I say? One of them is male. أنتما. Okay? So what got added? The man. That's it. Okay? Now I'm speaking to a group of people, at least one of them male. Right? What do I say? Male plural. Antum. Very good. Alright? Now, I'm speaking to one female. Okay? I'm speaking to this sister right here in the front. And I want to tell her she's the best student. Anti afdalu talibati fil fasl. What do I say? I just said it. Anti. Alright? Anti. So what changed between the male and the female? Anti. There's a fatha when you use the male. There's a kasra when you use the female. What about two females? Antuma. Same as two males. Okay? You get a break. Okay? One little break. Alright? Now what if there are 3 or more females, all of them females? Antunna. Like that. Right? So this noon, this is called nunun niswa. This is very unique. It's called the noon, the feminine noon, because it only comes for the feminine. Okay? All right. Then what about first person? Ana. Now when you see this ana, okay, it has an alif there. We don't pronounce the alif, right? If you were to pronounce the alif, it would be ana, right? But we don't pronounce the alif. There's a reason for that. In the Arabic language, there's a lot of words that look like this. In, an, anna, inna, right? There's too many words that look like this. So Arabs, one of the things they like to do, they like to differentiate words by adding an alif to the end of it. And it's kind of like, you know what I'm talking about if I just add an alif, right? So when you do that, you get ana, but we just don't pronounce this, right? But it's there because I know now this is not, I'm not just talking about, if I say ana, a lot of times people don't put vowels when they write. So I don't know if that's anna, which is emphasis, or inna, which means indeed, right? Or something else, okay? So that's why that. And then we is nahnu. All right. For this area here, second person, what do we call the second person? In Arabic, we call it al-mukhatab. Al-mukhatab.
Dr. Kia?
Yeah.
So you said we is nahnu, would us also be nahnu? Us?
Kind of, yes. So, but that is going to be an attached pronoun. So you might say, darabuna, they hit us. It's the na comes at the end, and that's attached. These are separate pronouns. Attached pronouns, I'm sorry you brought this up. It's a whole other lesson. Attached pronouns are different from unattached pronouns in Arabic, okay? I didn't want to bring that up because now it's intimidating. Alright? It's like so much to learn here, okay? Alright, but anyway, second person, mukhatab. Mukhatab means the person you're talking to. Meaning these are the pronouns you use when you're talking to someone, okay? And the two here, when you're talking about yourself, this is al-mutakallam. Al-mutakallam, alright? I am speaking. Al-mutakallam is the one who is speaking, alright? Okay. So, let's go through the mukhatab. We haven't done that yet. Alright, so, repeat after me. Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma, antunna. Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma, antunna. Alright, and then the last one, ana, nahnu. Very easy, right? Okay. Alright, so these are pronouns.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Is there a reason why the dual are the same both for the third person?
there's no reason. Sometimes you just take it. It's easy, take it. Again, Arabic is qiyasi and simai. Qiyasi means it's based on a set of rules, and simai means sometimes there's no rule. You just take it, okay? This is what it is, okay? Remember, this whole Arabic language, it was decoded by non-Arabs. See all these dots? See all these dots? Wasn't there. At the time of the Prophet Muhammad, none of these dots were there. You know who put these dots there? The Persians put them there. Because they decoded the whole thing, okay? When they decoded the whole thing, they're like, okay, you know what? What it looks like, some of these rules are like, they're just like, patterns that we can predict. We call that in Arabic, qiyasi, okay? Patterns are qiyasi. Alright? When it's not a pattern, and it's just like, take it, this is it, don't ask any questions, okay? We call that simai. Alright? Simai. You have to listen. Sami'a, from listening. You just have to listen to it enough times so you know what it is, okay? Something like this, just simai, right? You just have to listen to it and know it like that, right? Now, remember we talked about last class, the way you learn Arabic is through repetition. A lot of you are going to go home and be like, I need to memorize this. You're going to memorize it, okay? I'm just going to memorize it, all right? That's fine, you can do that. But to me, repetition, just saying it over and over and over again is much more useful. If you just go home and you do this 10 times, huwa huma hum, hiya huma hunna, anta antuma antum, anti antuma antuna ana nahnu. Just do that 10 times, right? Your tongue, something's gonna happen to your tongue, okay? If anybody plays sports, we talked about this analogy before. It's like shooting free throws. The first one, you're gonna airball, okay? The second one, you're gonna brick. You're gonna hit the rim. The third one, you're gonna get a little closer. The fourth one, you're a little. Then finally, the 10th one, it's gonna be a stroke. It's gonna feel very good. Okay? This is how your tongue. See, this is a muscle. Your tongue is a muscle. Okay? You cannot learn Arabic just thinking, okay, I got it. I'm gonna conceptually think about it. I got it. And I got it. Yeah, I got it. No, you don't have it. Until you can go through and do this. Until you can do that over and over and over again, really fast, you don't have it. So just repetition. How do you memorize Quran? Exactly. Just say the ayah over and over and over again. Your tongue gets used to it. We cannot think about language as something, okay, yeah, conceptually, I got it. Yeah, I got it. No, you don't have it. That's how you think about it, you don't have it. Okay, now, I'm gonna expand this just a little bit now. So what it's gonna be like, let's get into a drone, okay? Let's go up and let's get a bird's eye view of where this fits in to learning about verbs. Because that's the whole point of this, okay? You only use these with verbs, all right? So, what I'm going to show you, I don't want you to write down. Do not write this down. Do not write this down. Do not write this down, all right? But I'm just going to give you a bird's eye view of where this is going to fit. In further lessons, we're going to learn this, okay? But I'm going to take a verb like nasara, which means to help, okay? Nasara. Now, in English, how do I say, if I just want to say past tense, if I want to use any of these pronouns, how do I say helped with these pronouns? Does the verb helped change at all?
No.
It does not change. If I say he helped, they helped, she helped, they helped, you helped, I helped, we helped, the help stays the same. It does not change. Do not try to transfer your understanding of English now to Arabic. Because watch this. The verb changes with pretty much every single one. Right? If I want to say huwa, he helped, okay, it's huwa nasara. If I want to say those two people helped, nasara. Look, something happened. We put an alif. Okay? If I want to say they helped, multiple people, one of them male, okay, I say nasaru. Like that. Okay? Again, the ending keeps changing. There's a wow now, and there's an alif. Okay, the alif is differentiated. Alright? If I want to say she helped, nasarat. Nasarata. Okay, huma was the same here, same here. But once I get to the verb, it's not the same. The verb changes. So I say those two women helped nasarata. If I want to say 3 or more women helped, okay, who knows what it is? Nasarna. Okay? Changed again. Right? Remember in English it was help, 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 help. This one keeps changing. Anta, now I'm speaking. This is al-mukhatab. I'm speaking to someone, I'm speaking to one male. I'm saying you helped. You helped, I say nasarta. Okay? I am speaking to 2 males here. Okay? Now I say nasar tuma. Now I'm speaking to a group of people, at least one of them male. Okay? What do I say? Nasar tum. I'm speaking to one female. What do I say? Nasar ti. Nasar tuma. And what about multiple women? Nasar tun. That's why I don't want you to write this down. Do not write this down. Bird's eye view. Alright? Nasar tunna. See? Different for every single one. Right? Ana, I helped. Nasar tu. We helped. Nahnu. Nasar na. Alright. All of this, okay, we're in a drone, we're just looking at bird's eye view here, okay? This is all past tense. That's just past tense. Okay? Do not write this down. Don't try to learn it right now. Again, it's hard to learn unless you know where it fits. Yes?
Is that, so the changes you did for the word, right? Is that consistent across different words, or is that more?
That's an excellent question. Everybody heard what he said? He said these changes, okay?
If the
Ra, u, ta, n, ta, tuma, tum, all these changes. Is it the same for every single verb, or is it different? What do y'all think?
70% of the time.
All right. For 3-lettered verbs, okay, there are basically 6 different patterns a verb can change into. This is one of them. For 3-lettered verbs. This is why you cannot memorize this and just be like, I got it. you have to go through it over and over again until it becomes just like you just got, your tongue has it. Yeah, in the back.
Yeah, you said there are 6 ways you can change trigger and verb, and only for past tense?
Well, okay. That's what I'm getting to. This is past tense, all right? There's also present tense. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. The whole thing changes again. Okay? So, remember, this was he helped. Okay, past tense. Now I'm going to say he is helping. All right? Huwa yansur. Let's go down here. Antum, okay? Multiple people, one of them male. Tan surun. Okay? Changes again. All of you are helping, okay? What if I want to say I am helping? Ana ansur. All right? And guess what? Once you get to the command form, it changes again. All right? Now, I'm going to erase all this. Because all I want you to have is a bird's eye view. I just want you to understand, okay, this is where we're going. We're not going to get there in this class, or next class, or the class after that, okay? Don't be intimidated, but just understand this is where this piece of the puzzle fits in the bigger picture.
So like for the past tense verbs, you're like adding letters to the end, and the present tense, or you're adding it to the beginning, right?
Both. Beginning and the end sometimes changes too. Right. But that's a very good observation. In the past tense, all that's changing is the end of the verb. In the present tense, okay, the first part is changing. The second part, the end of the verb, also changes in some of them as well. All right? Now, real quick, what time is it? All right. Let's do a quick exercise. All right? Let's do a quick exercise. All I want you to do is tell me the correct pronoun. Okay? I want 2 guys to stand up. All right? I just need to, actually, let me just, this first part of the table, can you be my volunteers? Okay, all right. You 2 stand up. You 2. And then can you all be my volunteers? This table right here? No? This table right here? Oh my goodness. All right. I need some, what about right here? Can I get some volunteers? Okay, all right. What's the pronoun? 2 guys standing up. What's the pronoun? Huma, okay? Huma. All right, now I need 1 sister. Just stand up. What's the pronoun? Hiya. Okay, you 2 sit down. What's the pronoun? Hiya. When they're standing up, it's whom. Okay? All right. Now I'm talking to this sister. What's the pronoun? Anti. Anti. Okay. Now, let's have a few more sisters stand up. Okay? Now, I just want 1 guy to stand up. Now, let's stay in the mukhatab. I'm speaking to this group right here. What pronoun do I use? Whoa. What is it? Antum. There's 1 guy standing up, okay? Antum, all right? Now let's say I'm talking to this person, I'm talking about these people that are standing up. So I'm talking about it. What's the pronoun that I use? Whom. Very good. Now the guys sit down, just the sisters stand. Now, I'm talking to these sisters. What's the pronoun I use? Antunna. Now I'm talking to someone, and I'm talking about these sisters.
Wait, wouldn't that be? Oh, that's 3. Never mind.
I'm talking about these sisters. What pronoun do I use? Hunna. Okay? All right? So, the more you think about it like that, you can sit down now. The more you think about it like that, the more you're going to kind of understand this, okay? For lesson 2, this is all we're going to focus on. So third person, right? Al-Ghaib. All right, now, you have here basically the same thing, except Fawake made it into a nicer, prettier chart than I had it here on the board. But basically you have it in singular, dual, plural, masculine, feminine, third person, masculine, feminine, second person, masculine, feminine, first person, right? Exact same thing we just wrote, except it's a little bit horizontal, okay? But look, same thing. هو هما هن هي هما هن أنت أنتما أنتم أنتِ أنتما أنتن أنا نحن, alright? If you go through, if conceptually, sometimes you need to see where it fits to better understand where it is conceptually in your mind, okay? You can do this and it'll work. When you go home, fill out this chart. Go through it multiple times, okay? Like this, like we talked about. Go through it multiple times. هو هما هم هي هما هن أنت أنتما أنتم أنتِ أنتما أنتن أنا نحن. Then when you get here, do it from your own memory. Don't look at the answers. When you get to this chart, do it from your own memory. Don't look at the answers, okay? All right. So a couple minutes here before we go get ready for Isha. Let's go through this real quick. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. What's the pronoun? Huwa. What does it mean? He. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. What's the pronoun? Whom. What does it mean? They. يَا آدَمُ اسْكُنْ أَنْتَ وَزَوْجُكَ الْجَنَّةَ. What's the pronoun? Anta. What does it mean? You, single male. Okay? Ana Allah Rabbul Alameen. What's the pronoun? Ana. What does it mean? I. Inna nahnu nazzalna alayka al-Qur'ana tanzila. What's the pronoun? Nahnu. What does it mean? We. Wallahu al-Ghani. Allah is rich. Wa antum al-Faqara. You are poor. What's the pronoun? Antum. What does it mean? You all, referencing who? Group 3 or more people, male and female. Okay, so that was a nuance, all right? When you are referencing a group of people, there's one male. If there's just one male, you use the masculine, right? If it's only female, okay, if there's only females, then that's when you use the feminine. All right? هو الذي أنزل عليك الكتاب. He's the one who sent down upon you the book. منه آيات محكمات. From this book is verses that are solid, okay? هن أم الكتاب. They are the foundation of the book. What's the pronoun? Hunna. Okay, what's this about here? Okay? Because I thought that was about multiple women. I thought hunna was about multiple women. What's this about?
It's like French. Like French.
Kind of, okay? So the hunna here refers to, okay, ayat, verses. And the word ayat is feminine. And there's many ayat. So the multiple plural pronoun for women is used. Alright? In Arabic, words are always masculine or feminine. All nouns are masculine or feminine. Okay? And when you reference back to that noun, okay, you have to use the right pronoun. Okay? Alright? Okay. So, let's continue. بِآيَاتِنَا أَنْتُمَا. Allah is speaking to Moses and Musa in the Quran. Okay, I'm sorry. Musa and Harun in the Quran. And he says, بِآيَاتِنَا. With our signs, أَنْتُمَا. What does that mean? You both, you two, right? At least one of them male, both of them are male. Here I was speaking to Moses and Harun. Says, أَنْتُمَا وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَكُمَا. And whoever follows you two, al-ghalibun, will be victorious. إِذْ هُمَا فِي الْغَارِ. Allah is speaking about Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and Abu Bakr. When they made hijrah, they were both in the cave, right? And Allah is speaking about this incident. He says, إِذْ هُمَا فِي الْغَارِ. When they were both in the cave. So what's the pronoun here? Huma. Masculine dual. Okay? Abu Bakr and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ana at-tawwab rahim. At-tawwab is the one who constantly turns to his servants to accept their repentance. Rahim is the most merciful. What's the pronoun? Ana. So you have an answer key here, okay? And you have an answer key for all this stuff that we just did, all right? Go back at home, go back and review that. And we're a little bit behind, but we'll get caught up. Let's get ready for Isha.